Oda may have just revealed every major endgame battle that we will expect to witness in the final saga of One Piece, and he did it in a very subtle way. Now, with Vegapunk's message to the world, where he's been essentially dropping consistent world-shattering revelations for what seems like the last 10 chapters now in the manga, he concludes his speech by alluding that the fate of the world is dependent on certain individuals who can't be oppressed. Whether it's the Yonko of the Sea, who've gained such significant status, power, and influence over their careers, where they're now completely out of reach from the rule and authority of the Marines and the world government, or the Revolutionary Army that has taken direct action over the last 20 years to directly oppose everything the world government represents, or even someone like Bonnie, who has freed herself from the cycle of oppression derived from her heritage, and confronted Saturn, the man who single-handedly devastated her family. But Vegapunk seems convinced that these people are the closest to learning the truth of the world, all the while questioning if this is really something that Goldie Roger and the remnants of his crew have put in motion over the last 20 years. But Vegapunk fully believes that the fate of the One Piece world is dependent on the individual who's able to claim the One Piece for themselves. And at the end of chapter 1121, we are presented with this beautiful panel of all the major players in the verse who are the closest to making that ideal a reality. And I speculate this panel is indirectly revealing the endgame matchups we will witness as the final saga of One Piece begins to play out. Now, the first endgame battles we should expect to see are the inevitable clashes of the four Yonko, whether it's Shanks versus Blackbeard or Luffy versus Buggy. Now, Shanks versus Blackbeard has been hinted for a while, with the seeds being planted ever since Oda released Road to Laugh-Tale, including the scar above Shanks' left eye, directly tying his fate to Blackbeard, with Shanks even stating he can still feel that scar sting even today. And with these two essentially being polar opposites, with Shanks almost being like a dormant lion who, like the average One Piece fan, has been waiting for the day he'll finally make his move, or Blackbeard, who's been expanding his influence with his cunning nature, creating chaos everywhere he goes on his quest for power. Shanks versus Blackbeard is likely one of the first endgame battles we will witness in the final saga, and I guarantee it will be on the same level of Gojo versus Sukuna, and it will absolutely break the internet. And then we got Luffy versus Buggy, and this 1v1 has essentially been foreshadowed since the East Blue when Luffy and Buggy first interacted in Orangetown. And I think if these two went for round 2, but this time as Yonko, it would be an amazing full circle moment. And as much as I love Buggy as a meme character, I have full belief that this dude will showcase exactly why he deserves to be a Yonko and give Luffy a run for his money. Now, the next matchup would be Koby versus Akainu, and I'd love to see these two go head to head. I think it'd be an amazing follow-up to when Koby defied Akainu's orders at Marineford when he pled to end the war, which showcased early on how despite they're both Marines, their perspectives on justice are completely opposite. And with how far Koby has come, while I do believe as it stands he's nowhere near on the same level as Akainu, he definitely has the potential to eventually get to Akainu's level before the end of the series. Next we got Dragon versus Aokiji. Now, the only real connection that Dragon and Aokiji have is that we know Dragon, prior to creating the Revolutionary Army, he was a member of the Marines, so there's a strong likelihood he does have some relationship with Aokiji, on top of the fact that they were both trained by Garp. So once Dragon's character becomes more fleshed out, it could be a good basis to confirm that this fight would actually go down. We then got a potential round 2 of Sabo versus Imu, and while I do think Luffy will ultimately be the one to take down Imu with his own hands, I could see a world where Sabo and Imu have a showdown beforehand. And lastly, we got St. Garling Figureland, who'll be matched up against this unknown figure, who as it currently stands, we have no idea who it is. Now, I'm sure some people are going to speculate that this could be the man with the burnt scar, who knows the location of the final road poneglyph, and it's likely that it could be the man with the eye patch, which Oda had stated all the way back in 2007, that a pirate with an eye patch will appear in the final saga of One Piece and play a pivotal role in the storyline. And while I do think these could actually be both correct, my headcanon is that it's actually Rox D. Xebec, because while we know that Rox was effectively erased from history, it doesn't guarantee that he was actually eliminated. And if there's anyone Rox would have a score to settle with, I'm confident it'd be the champion of the Native Hunting Festival in God Valley, that later became the supreme commander of the God Knights. But until any of this is actually confirmed, for now it will remain a theory. But if you made it to the end of the video, you're a legend, and it'd be awesome if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. And while you're down there, click the bell for post notifications for daily One Piece content and brain rot injected into your feed. Until next time, you mad lads and ladettes, peace.